sports fans? Before we get today's video started, I'd like to update everybody. We're only 5 subscribers away from 50. Obviously that means we're 5 away from the jersey giveaway. So if you know anybody that might be interested in what we're doing here or might have a YouTube channel, I would really appreciate if you ask them to subscribe, possibly. That would really make my day. Anyways, without further ado, let's get it! Sports fans, today we're doing a little bit of a special video. Today I'll be ranking all the quarterbacks in the NFL that we got right now. I've got the tier list here. It's A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, understand, just because I'm putting some guys in B and C doesn't mean they can't propel up, of course. I'm evaluating this based on 2 things. This isn't a current ranking, I would say. This is more so of a ranking based on what they did this past year and what they're going to be doing in the future. So, Tom Brady's going to be a little lower on this list than a lot of you guys would think. That's just an example. Whereas someone like Dwayne Haskins might be a little bit higher than you'd expect. Without further ado, let's just get into the ranking. I'm going to start with one of my only few A-tier quarterbacks, and to be honest with you, I think that he's probably a tier above A-tier, if that was possible. Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think has a really good chance to be the greatest quarterback ever. Now, my reasoning behind that, he's only been in the league for 2 seasons. Well, I mean 3 seasons, but he sat behind Alex Smith for a season. Now, my reasoning behind that is, it's like the 2 seasons he started, obviously had the MVP year with 50 touchdowns, probably could have had another MVP if he didn't get injured this year, but he went to the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, and if it wasn't for Dee Ford lining up offside with his fingers, he probably would have made it to the Super Bowl, and probably even would have won it against the Rams, because they didn't look too pretty in that game, did they? Of course, he'd be preparing for a different team, so you can argue things would have gone differently. Either way, he would have had 2 Super Bowl appearances under his belt, and one to maybe even 2 rings at this point, depending on what happens Sunday. But I just think that he is the closest thing to a Michael Jordan-esque sort of thing that we've seen in football in a while. So I'm gonna put him up there. Honestly, I would probably put him up here. But next, we're gonna move on to my first B or C tier quarterback, and that's gonna be Baker Mayfield. I'm wearing his jersey, of course. Baker didn't have a great year this year, obviously. I still think that we have a lot of potential if we can mold an O-line together. We have decent pieces on the O-line. Of course, we're a glaring need at left tackle, but I think if we build around Nick Chubb and still have a nice play-action game with Jarvis and Odell, I think that we can really make some stuff happen. Also, we'll be getting David Njoku back, not to mention all the pieces we had on defense that were injured. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I think Baker Mayfield will have a rebound year this year. And maybe by this time next year, I'll put him into my B tier. Definitely not my A tier, but next I've got Jimmy Garoppolo. I've also got him in C tier. It's really tough to evaluate Jimmy because he doesn't have to do that. He's not asked to do that much in his offense. Thing is, that's how Brady was early in his career. He wasn't asked to do that much in his offense. Of course, as time went on, he was asked to do a little bit more, and we really saw the greatness of a Tom Brady. The same thing could happen to Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe in 3 years from now, he's an A-tier quarterback. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. That's about all I got to say about that. I'm going to put my first B-tier quarterback, and that's going to be Lamar Jackson. I think a lot of people would probably hate on me with this and want him in A-tier. My reasoning for putting him in B-tier is I just don't know based on... There's no uncertainty. He is absolutely exceptional. There's no doubt about it. In open field, he looks like Barry Sanders. I'm not kidding. That's who he looks like in open field. But I questioned the accuracy to a point. Of course, he shot down a lot of that. I was questioning it way more before this season. Of course, he shot that down a lot for me. If I was ranking this a year ago, he might be in C tier, maybe even D tier. But based on the season he had, it was incredible. My two questions are, can he stay healthy? And once they get enough film on him, does it stay the same? I think that even with the film, he's still going to be a really good quarterback. My main concern is, can he stay healthy? Because his run style, I've never really seen it outside of a Michael Vick. And of course, Vick, we can't really say if he could stay healthy or not because of the dogs and everything. But at E, I'm going to start with my next E tier quarterback, and that's Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers is exiting what we would call a solid career. He's just not what he used to be. And I think that's why the Chargers are possibly considering shopping for a Tom Brady. They're in the market for a quarterback. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. I think they should move on from Phillip Rivers, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because you look at what guys like a Josh Allen are doing, what guys like even a Baker Mayfield was doing last year. So there's a lot of guys sprinkling in. Quarterback is getting richer and richer, it seems, in the draft to me. That's just my take on it. I think that over the past 3 or 4 years, we're having a really, really rich quarterbacks come out of the draft. Really ever since Wentz and Goff, I would say. But yeah, I'm not gonna. I want to keep this video as short as I can, so I'm not gonna get into a rundown about all these guys. Only the ones I'm really big on. My next A tier quarterback is gonna be Carson Wentz. Now, people are probably questioning me again. Why is Carson Wentz in A tier? He should be B tier, maybe even C tier. Definitely not C tier. I'll tell you that right now. If you think he's a C tier quarterback, you haven't watched the guy play football. That's what it is. Trust me. He's at least a B tier quarterback. Now, my reasoning for putting him as an A tier quarterback, he looks like one of those guys to me. I know that he's had injury problems and everything. He's having trouble staying on the field. So is everybody in that organization, it seems like. But to me, he looks like if he can just stay healthy, and it's kind of the same thing as Lamar, but I think based on the hits Lamar's going to take, his career is going to be shorter. It's not even I think his body breaks down. I don't think that he tears an ACL or something, God forbid. That would be horrible. Obviously, anybody can do it, but I think more so his body breaks down. Just so many blows because they run him like a running back, bro. They run him like a running back. And you can only take so many hits like that and still be a quarterback, in my opinion. But as far as Carson Wentz is concerned, he's probably, outside of Mahomes, because Mahomes is the best, he's probably, of the new generation, the best pocket quarterback in the league, in my opinion. Dead ass. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Whereas the best, and if they can build, I'm gonna move on in a second, but if they can build a solid receiving core around him, or at least stay healthy, I think that they have a real good team because they're in a good situation. They have a good owner, really, really solid head coach. But I'm going to give my next, and this might even be my final A-tier quarterback, in Deshaun Watson. Now, I believe Deshaun Watson's the real thing. We've all seen how incredible he is. I said that Carson Wentz is the best pocket quarterback. I think Deshaun Watson is the best ad-lib quarterback outside of maybe a Russell Wilson, who I'm also going to put in A tier now that I think about it. What the fuck? Yeah, he's the future. There's no doubt about it. Once they ship Bill O'Brien out of town, the sky's the limit for this guy, in my opinion. And they get a decent defense for him and him. Yeah, sky's the limit for both of those guys. I'm going to give my next A tier quarterback, and that's going to be Russell Wilson. Just put him in B tier by accident. Yeah, Russell Wilson is an advanced version of Deshaun Watson, except they're a little different. I think Deshaun Watson could be incredible, to be perfectly honest with you. I think he's the only guy that can really get at Mahomes, in my opinion. I don't think anybody can get at Mahomes, to be honest, but if anyone can, it's probably Deshaun Watson or Carson Wentz. Russell Wilson's coming. He's in his prime right now. The perfect prime. That's what he's in right now. That perfect middle of your prime. where you're just absolutely spectacular. The past 3 seasons, he's made this Seahawks team look substantially better than they are. I promise you. There is no doubt about it. This guy is absolutely incredible. For being 5'9", 5'10", to do what he does is just mind-boggling to me. And to be honest, I knew it after the first Super Bowl, but I didn't know he was going to be this great. He's absolutely spectacular. Some of the throws this guy makes, on the run is just unbelievable. F-tier quarterback, he just retired, Eli Manning. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He's an F-tier quarterback. I'm also going to put Andrew Luck in F-tier because he's not in the fucking league anymore. So we'll get them out of the way. Andy Dalton, that's an F-tier quarterback. I'm going to run through some quick F-tier quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, that's an F-tier quarterback. Of course, when he was a little younger, he was better, obviously. Ryan Fitzpatrick, F-tier quarterback. Josh Rosen, F-tier quarterback. Yeah. He's shit. He's not good. And he was the last I was praying to God the Browns would not pick him. It was anyone but him in my eyes. Please do not pick him. Do not pick Josh Rosen. I'd rather have Josh Allen. That's what I was saying to myself. Even though I wasn't high on Josh Allen either. I wanted them to take Baker Mayfield. Looking back, you can say maybe I wish we had Lamar Jackson, but it is what it is. Derek Carr. I am going to surprise some people. He is at least a C-tier quarterback. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. After all the AB bullshit, he rose this team and almost put them in the playoff picture, which is absolutely incredible to me. His best weapon was his tight end. I'm slipping the name, Darren Wallen. That was his best weapon, a guy we've never heard of. Now, to make a guy like that look good, don't get me wrong, the player has to be good himself, but you have to have a really good quarterback who really understands the system. And the fact that he was was this the first or second? I think this was the second year of Gruden, but I think he's really starting to understand the system, and he's finally got a lead horse back in Josh Jacobs. I think this team could be really good if they can build a defense. Shouldn't have traded Khalil Mack. I'll stand by that, but Josh Rosen, I'm going to put into D tier. People are going to give me a lot of hate for that. I think he's the closest thing we've seen to Cam Newton since Cam Newton. However, he doesn't have the touch on those little 5-yard passes. He throws them too bullety, just like Cam. And the other thing, he's just not accurate enough in my eyes. In my estimation, when I watch him, I see incredible athleticism, incredible escape out of the pocket. He's absolutely incredible at breaking tackles as well at the quarterback position. But the thing is, I just don't see the accuracy. And the hardest thing, most guys don't come into the league, they maybe get 5% more accurate than they were in college. That's just most guys. Now, it's not all the guys. I think the only guy, there was a metric that I heard, that Matt Ryan was one of the only guys to go over 5% in his accuracy, I believe, in recent years. I don't know how true that is. I'm just saying what I heard. I can't exactly remember it. It was a long time ago, but I don't think that I think his inaccuracy is going to be an issue when they don't have that spectacular defense like they had this year. If you just give him a mediocre defense, he's not going to be that great of a quarterback in my eyes. Next, I want to throw, where is he? Sam Darnold out there. And I'm going to also put him in C tier. I think all 4 of these guys right here, I would be surprised if at least 2 of them weren't in B tier coming up here shortly. I would be surprised at that. I think they all have really good, I think they're all accurate passers. They all know how to play the game of football. They all have a high football IQ. I think they're all in pretty good situations except for a Baker Mayfield. I do think and most people would say, oh, the Jets, that's a terrible situation. I like what the Jets are doing right now, honestly. They're drafting D linemen. They're bulking up the D line, get them a few offensive linemen, and we could be sitting pretty. Get him a receiver, and we could be sitting pretty. That's what I think. And Sam Darnold is going to surprise some people soon, I promise you. That was the guy that I was on the fence of during the draft because the Browns were picking number 1, and I'm like, do I want Baker Mayfield or do I want Sam Darnold? And my dad finally talked me into Baker Mayfield over Sam Darnold, so that's what I wanted going into it. But I'm going to put Dwayne Haskins into... Oh, that's a tough one, gents. That is a tough one. Damn, man. That's a tough one. I'm gonna put him into D tier for now. I really think Dwayne Haskins has some potential to be the next Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's finally fine, and I know that we hate the owner over there. He's horrible. Don't get me wrong. Snyder is absolutely pathetic. I get it. I mean, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Said that on New Year's. What a fuck ass dude. Like, but whatever. I outside of the owner, I like what the Redskins are doing, right? They hired what I think was probably the best head coach out there, in my opinion, in Ron Rivera. He's going to build you a really good defense. You're picking 2nd overall this year. You're going to get Chase Young. That's going to be huge. So you're going to have a solid defense. I like what I saw the last 5 or 6 weeks from a Darius Geis. And the O-line's shaky. It would be really nice to get Trent Williams back, although I don't think that'll ever happen. But I like Terry McLaurin. Maybe draft another receiver. Beef up the O-line a little bit. And I think you could see Dwayne Haskins really start coming into his own. My next D-tier quarterback is going to be Cam Newton. I'm not going to do him dirty and throw him down here. I don't think he's on Phillip Rivers' level. I think he's the tier above that. I can't. It's hard to put because I don't know where his body's at right now. Of course, they're saying he's going to be healthy for the season. I don't know exactly where his body's at, though, and the wear and tear that it has on it. So we'll see what we get from Cam. That's just my ballpark placement is D. I'm also going to put Brady in D. A lot of people would want me to put him more so up here. He's only got a few years left, man. Let's be honest here. The guy's like 42 years old. No matter where he goes, he's only going to have a few years left. Yeah, I mean, he was absolutely exceptional, don't get me wrong, but that's where I got to place him. Marcus Mariota, E tier. Just not good. I mean, he's just not good. I would almost consider putting him in F tier, to be quite honest with you. But I'm going to give him E tier, give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he can get healthy again. You know what? Fuck it. He's going in F tier. He's been horrible. He's had shining moments where you're like, oh, this guy could be something. But they all just go away. And that brings me to my next quarterback on the list, which is Jameis Winston. Same type of deal. He's had really good shining moments where he's thrown 400 yards on 4 touchdowns, and you're like, oh my God, this guy really could actually be legit. Then he goes out the next game and throws 5 interceptions. Like, what the hell? Listen, that much inconsistency, you're never going to win a Super Bowl. Just in my eyes. You're never going to... Because you got to win at least 3 games to win the Super Bowl. Hello? And I don't see them... And that's if you're not in the wild card. If that's the case, you got to win 4 games, obviously. I don't think this guy could show up for 3 games straight. That's my estimation. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Jameis Winston. At least not right now. Maybe in 5 years, kind of like 3, 4, 5 years, when he gets even a little more training under his belt. The thing is, when you're throwing interceptions, and I get he's never had a run game, I understand that. But when you're throwing interceptions at such a high clip like that, it is so hard for your team. It's demoralizing. It kills everybody on the squad. It really does. Who is this? Alex Smith. I'm gonna put him in E tier.
You know, he had the fucked up leg.
Can't remember exactly what it was.
I'm going to put him in E tier.
Like I said. I can't really give him any much more at this rate in his career.
Kirk Cousins is going into my
D tier.
I like what I saw from Kirk Cousins this year.
But the guy,
outside of the one playoff game
against the Saints,
which I'll give him credit for.
He had a great football.
He had a great football team.
An absolutely great football team. A top 3 run game in the league.
Two
solid receivers. Two
very, very solid receivers.
Very solid receivers.
And Adam Thielen and
he had a
very,
very stout defense.
And I think he has a great head coach.
And I think he has a great head coach too, in Mike Zimmer.
And he can only
win one playoff game.
And doesn't show up in any prime
That's
time
just
games.
That
seems like a moment thing.
That seems like a moment thing.
He's got to try to get that under control.
Mitch Trubisky. He's the same type of deal as a Jameis Winston, to be honest with you.
Except he doesn't throw the interceptions. I'll give you that.
He goes out there and just looks like absolute
You're like,
shit.
what the
sometimes.
fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going on?
Like, he's been there long enough.
He's under Matt Nagy, who I think is a good head coach. He has a really solid defense.
The weapons on offense could be
better, but they're all right.
I think that
he
just doesn't have
off.
it. There's something off.
Even though he has really good games, just like
Jameis Winston, there's something
Jameis
off.
Winston, there's something off.
He doesn't bring it all.
He doesn't bring it all.
I don't know.
Next,
rebound of the year.
If you asked me
where I was going to put this guy 6 months ago,
he'd be right here. I honestly wouldn't even know why he's on the list.
To be quite frank with you.
But I'm going to put him in D. I
think Ryan Tannehill had a great rebound year, as we all do.
Of course, he was in a great system. Under Vrabel, had a great offensive line. Had Centaur that is Derrick Henry. But
he still looked really good to me.
He was making good play action throws. His connection with A.J. Brown is obvious.
If you're a fantasy guy,
look into A.J. Brown next year.
Look into A.J. Brown next year.
He's just a big play machine.
Let's move on though, so I don't have to make this video super duper long.
This is a really tough one. I can't do Big Ben the disservice of putting him down here. I have to put him here for now
because when he's on the field,
the last I saw, he was still at least a C quarterback. They need receivers. Let's be honest. They need receivers.
James Conner,
can you stay healthy? The offense is in a downward spiral. In my opinion.
But the thing is, the Steelers,
unlike the Browns, which I would know that, are historically really good at drafting,
especially at wide receiver,
and they mold talent clearly at wide receiver.
I think Big Ben, if he can come back healthy, I think he's going to be solid.
So I'm going to put him in C tier.
Aaron Rodgers for me
is down in B tier at this point in his career.
Right? I know that's crazy, right?
There's something missing, man.
There's something missing, man.
He's not the same guy he used to be.
He's still really good.
He doesn't throw interceptions.
He doesn't throw interceptions.
His QBR is solid.
Still really solid.
His touchdown to interception ratio is off the charts.
I can't remember how many years.
They're both really careful with the football.
And Aaron Rodgers still has it.
No doubt about it. And he's going to have it for the next 4 to 5 years, in my opinion.
I think that he's very tail end of his prime.
That's what I would say.
Matt Ryan.
This is a tough one. I'm going to put him in C tier.
He had the MVP season.
Then he came back. He looked like shit.
Then he came back.
Looked pretty solid.
It's like
you can definitely.
Sorry. When you have the right team,
he's a guy that can win a Super Bowl.
But without the right team,
he's not going to elevate you above
quo. If you get
the status quo. If you get what I'm saying.
Jared Goff, C tier quarterback.
I think he's a lower end C tier quarterback.
Everybody's so high on Jared Goff.
At least last year they were.
I think he's good. He's definitely got accuracy.
He's definitely got accuracy,
especially on the deep ball.
I think he's a talent.
I think he's a
no
talent.
doubt about it. You can definitely win a Super Bowl with him, especially under the likes of McVay.
But above a C tier, there's no way he's a B tier quarterback. I can't put him above
Matt Stafford. Put him down into D tier. I think
he had a great year.
There's
no doubt about it. But I'm looking at the future, and I think I'm predicting.
There's more foretelling than even ranking. I see a descending nature.
Matthew Stafford, and it's not really his fault.
It's because he plays for the Lions.
They just can't get the job
They
done.
just can't get
They
the
just
job done.
cannot get the
They
job
just
done. It's like
cannot
the
get the
Browns.
job
They
done.
just
It's like the
cannot
Browns.
get
They
the
just
job
cannot
done.
get the
For
job
anybody.
done. For
Anybody.
Fucking incredible too. I mean, you would think it's
just unbelievable.
It's just all right, Nick Foles. I know that you just won a Super Bowl a few years ago.
Your team got hot at the right time.
That's the best I can say about it.
I don't know how he won the Super Bowl.
It is crazy to me.
It is crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
I'm gonna be honest. Your team got hot at the right time.
We're still a really talented team.
We're still a really talented team.
Really
well
coached
coached
team,
team.
but they got hot at the right time, and I think that's why they won.
I'm just looking at it, and there's no way he's on the level of a Kirk Cousins,
of a Matt Stafford,
of a Tom Brady, of a Cam Newton, of a Josh Allen, of a Dwayne Haskins.
He's not on that level, so I have to put him in E.
Daniel Jones. Fuck.
That's toughy.
I'm gonna put Daniel Jones.
I'm gonna put Daniel Jones
in D tier,
and I'm gonna put Kyler Murray
in C tier. I really like what I saw.
What I saw from Kyler Murray.
Really like what I saw.
His first year under a brand new head coach who's never even coached in the NFL.
With a horrible offensive line.
With a running back who quite frankly seemed like he didn't want to be there in David Johnson.
They trade for Kenyon Drake.
I like what I saw from Murray.
I
really do. I think he's going to be a solid quarterback.
I think he's going to be a solid quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be the likes of a Russell Wilson. He definitely has B tier talent. Possibly A tier talent. Unless he really is as good as Russell Wilson, which isn't going to happen. Before we know it, he'll probably be a B tier quarterback.
Drew Brees.
I would put him right here.
Because he's absolutely exceptional.
But since he's older.
Fuck. I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
That's a really tough one.
I'm going to leave him in B tier.
I'm going to leave him in B tier quarterback. I think he's a B tier quarterback. He's just so bloody accurate. That's what it comes down to. The guy is absolutely. He is off the charts accuracy.
That's the only way you can do it at his height.
Off the charts accuracy.
Off the charts accuracy.
That's what I'm hoping Baker Mayfield can become.
Obviously, it's probably not going to happen.
If it does, that would be amazing.
If it does, that would be amazing.
I believe this is Drew Lock.
Is this Drew Lock?
No, this might be Drew Lock.
I don't know. I'm assuming this is Drew Lock right here. If so, I'm going to put him in E tier. Didn't really see a lot. I like what I saw a little bit, but... And then I really don't know who this is, to be quite frank with you. I'm just going to put him down here. Just assume he's an F tier quarterback if I don't know who the fuck he is. And then our final quarterback on the list is Dak Prescott, and I'm going to be putting him into C tier.
He's on and off again. I do like what I see from Dak, though. I was a Dak hater a few years ago.
I didn't like Dak, but this year I like to a point what I saw from him, but he has the same tendencies to just not show up sometimes and play a really bad game, and you can't have that, man, especially when you're trying to make a playoff run. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Of course, like I said, Patrick Mahomes is really up here. I'm going to be quite frank with you. He's above this tier. So I would say there's 3 guys in A tier. There's 1 guy in A+ tier, which is Patrick Mahomes. 3 guys in A tier, 3 guys in B tier. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 C tier quarterbacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 D tier quarterbacks. What is that? 6 E tier quarterbacks, and we've got 8 F tier quarterbacks. Now, 2 of them aren't even in the league anymore. I don't know why they're on this. But yeah, man, I like this list, to be honest with you. I really do. I think it shows good for the future and right now. I think it's a good balance. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you're new, please consider subscribing.
and possibly turning on post notifications. That way you know every time I upload. That would really make my day. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.